Hello everyone, and welcome back to the HTR multiclass series. And this is round 4, so we're past the halfway point now. And today brings us to Spa, and I am in the Toyota TS050, which has been disguised as the BMW M V8 hybrid hypercar, because that's the team I'm representing this week, BMW. And today we're up against two heavyweights, basically, in the form of two 919 hybrids. Now, I don't really need to state this on how much better the 919 is compared to the TS050. The fact that on race 1, when I had it, I lapped the entire field and was a minute and a quarter ahead of P2 pretty much tells you how busted that thing is. And the main reason why, two reasons. Number one, it's got better aero, and number two, the hybrid is just extremely powerful. So this is the quali lap here that I set pole on. Spoiler alert. But if you look at the bottom left of your screen at the energy bar, it's completely gone. So basically, this entire race, I'm pretty much living off the tiny little bits of hybrid I get off of braking, which amounts to like maybe 5% of the entire tank. So for pretty much the entire race, I'm running on no hybrid. So this is going to be quite an uphill battle as we go through Stavelo now. And this race has some rain in it, so that's also something that we have to contend with. And obviously, this week no safety car, because I think the rain is the safety car. Technically, you get one or the other. As we go through Blanchimont now, it's going to be tough because that 919, the hybrid, is really going to bail it out of a lot of situations. And because of that, I really need to be on my game for this one. Just like I did last week and the week before that. Pretty much every week I didn't have a 919. So we cross the line pole, but you'll see as we start the race, I'm only pole by about 2/10 compared to the Hertz Team Joda Porsche behind me. So here we are on the grid, as you can see, 2/10, and Scotty is a little bit off from us top two, but that was qualifying. Qualifying is a kind of okay indicator, but the race is where it's at. So 5 lights are out, and off they go. And something I was really shocked by, the back two Porsches didn't really get an amazing start, like I did in Bathurst when I was using the 919. As we go deep, and we somehow make it ahead of them because I still have that hybrid. The luxury of the hybrid is gonna be gone within a lap. So I'm gonna make good use of it basically. And for me, I'm gonna try and stall the inevitable for as long as I can. I'm really gonna be relying on the dirty air to try and keep the two Porsches behind, because in Group 1, especially with the LMP1 cars, you've got dirty air to contend with. So me, I'm opting for the fuel saving strat as usual. But Scotty behind me, he's actually gone full on attack mode, no fuel saving or very minimal fuel saving. So the longer I can keep him behind, the more I'm just ruining his strategy, because he has to use even more fuel to get past me. And again, that's all because the dirty air is keeping him out of range from me. As we go through Pouan here for the first time, and the Hertz Team Joda Porsche has kind of fallen off, so it's kind of just me and this why am I forgetting the name? 962 liveried 919. A lot of numbers for different models of Porsche. But as we go through Stavelo, you can see the effect of the dirty air here, I think. No. Yes? No. So the hybrid kind of bails him out there. He was losing a bit, but the hybrid kind of recuperates the lost time he gets through the corner. And here I was thinking this would probably be it, where I'd be overtaken. But he's a little too far back, so we hold our nerve basically into the chicane. And he's right on our tail now, so now I'm gonna make a decision. Do I let him through, or do I just park the bus? I opt to park the bus until the end of lap 3, where we're going off of the La Source hairpin here. And I'm thinking he's probably going to get a good run because this is as close as he's going to get, half a second. And yeah, I think he's in the toe now, and I'm not fuel saving, and I think he's really pushed it now. As he go up the hill, you can see in the bottom left corner, the hybrid is completely gone. That's it. That's the main reason why I didn't really get a good launch of the source. Hybrid's gone, basically. And he just goes for a leisurely stroll on the outside into the Lacombe chicane. Yes. But his line is kind of disturbed, and he has to brake midway on this right, so that gives me a good opportunity to just send it up on the inside. Again, the longer I can delay his strategy, the better. As we go through now, right around him, but at the end of this lap, I don't show it. I get a penalty, which kind of gives him the position, but on the next lap, he gets a 1 second penalty. As you see there, my penalty just came up, and I served at the end of the lap, but he's got a 1 second penalty, and you'll see how powerful the hybrid is here. He's only 1.5 seconds, so he loses the time now, but in the 919, you don't really lose the full amount as the hybrid kind of recuperates some of it. But we are somewhat close for an attacking move. But I feel like if I go for it, it's just going to be, for me, because I'm on a fuel saving strat, I probably won't be able to hold him behind for that much longer. As we go into lap 10, Izzy's slowly caught the time over these 10 laps for the time that he lost on lap 1. And Scotty goes in the pit now. We all know it's going to rain at some point. And here's an interesting strategy. Scotty actually comes out and inters. He's on inters right now. So he was on a dry track with inters for about 3 laps. So his tyres are completely knackered. While me and Izzy, we fuel save. And we go into the pit lane. And we're completely fine. I've got more fuel than Izzy, so I'm going to spend a lot less time in the pit lane. But this is where some discrepancy happens, because when I was editing this, for some reason the file corrupted that had the rest, or this middle bit of the race. So you'll see as we jump cut here, it jump cuts to like 15, and I can kind of just summarize it. Basically, Scotty passes me in the pit lane, but I come out about 2 seconds behind him, and I catch him really quickly because he's on completely burnt inters basically. And here we are in the middle of the race. It's completely drenched. Not much really happens, but you can see the title of this video, a blunder. This is my biggest blunder as we come in towards the chicane, and I just outbrake myself, and I need a pit this lap, but I've gone way too deep. Izzy's on my right, so I can't cut across, and I try and get in the pit lane, but the white line is there, and if I cross that, I get a 3 second penalty, so I have to stay an extra lap. And if you look on the bottom left, the inters are completely hammered on this completely dry track. So we come in next lap, and look at that, inters are completely hammered. And I feel like this is where another small blunder comes in. As, come on, are we going to, God, I leave myself way too much time to try and speak sometimes. As we come in the BMW, change the tires, and I'm opting for soft. I've never used a soft tire in a race so far. And in my head, I've calculated there's 6 laps to go, but I've overfilled. So I've made the exact same mistake as I did at Fuji. So as we slowly go through the La Source hairpin at a crawl because it's completely drenched, you can hear the 919, and off it goes. And in the drying section of this race, it is important to have track position, because all you need to do as the leading car is to just defend the dry line, because at this point I can't go offline to overtake him. So it was about 2 seconds climbing out of the pit lane, and I've got the gap to below a second now, and this is the penultimate lap as I go up Eau Rouge now. I don't know how I'm gonna pass this guy, because again, I cannot go offline to try and overtake him, or else I will hit the wet patches and go completely spinning off like an idiot. As we set a purple sector 1, pretty cool. So the only thing I'm thinking in my head is the championship is now probably going to be going away from me here, as Izzy makes a mistake. And the reason why I say that, I mentioned this last week, the guy who's right behind, who's on my tail in the championship, is only doing Group 3. And because in Group 3 there's not a massive performance difference between the cars, he's gonna absolutely kill it, because most people will just pawn their slower driver off onto Group 3. So because of that, he's gonna effectively win pretty much every race. And he's only lost one race, hasn't won one race and came second once. And in this entire championship, you're allowed to drop your worst result, and that's going to be his worst result. So if I have two non-first places, I'm screwed. The championship is gone. So I need to somehow pass Izzy to keep this championship, the Drivers' Championship, alive. As we slowly go towards Blanchemont now, and I still don't know how I'm going to pass this guy. But again, as we come to the brakes, I'm really close onto his back, and this is where I realize his front tires are completely hammered, as I kind of go for a move but don't, so I kind of let him go. Maybe a mistake on my part on letting him go there. But as we go into La Source, I'm thinking I've got a better run here, but the hybrid just bails him out, as I really need to be eyeing a move going into the chicane here. And we go up the hill, and he's actually pulling away from me, believe it or not. Believe it or not, somehow he's pulling away. So the move's not going to happen here, basically, is what I'm telling you. As we go on, 210 now, but again, nowhere near close. But I go right up behind him here. And you might be asking, Rash, why do you just go to the right to use that speed and send it up the inside? I can't, because that area's damp, and if I go straight onto that, I'm probably going to be spinning off. And this is why I say it's very powerful track position on a drying track, because all Izzy needs to do is just defend the dry line. As we go left, I'm pretty much right behind him, but there's nothing I can do. I try and bait him on the inside here to go shallow into Pouon. As I go on the brakes, and I kind of hold the brakes a little too much because I'm scared to go onto the damp patch, and I give him pretty much a 4/10 lifeline here. And it's coming to the track where acceleration is very key, and this car just doesn't have the acceleration compared to the 919. So I'm slowly looking at my championship hopes kind of fade away at this point. And Izzy is also a championship contender. He's only raced in 3 of the races, I think. And 2 of them I think he's won, and 1 he's came 3rd. So now that adds another win to his tally now. So he's going to be a problem for us at the end of the season. But again, my problem is that Group 3 driver that's only doing Group 3 and winning pretty much all the races. And he's our main competitor now. Or the main one, at least. As we cross the line in P2. And this is my opportunity to keep the series alive for myself. But I just made that blunder at the worst moment, and that cost me the race. And as you can see, on the left is next week's track, Monza, and I'm in the Peugeot. It's a car with what we call in the business an absolute shitbox. So next week is going to be quite the race to forget, and it's probably going to be my season on the line with that race. As you can see on the right, at the bottom, the guy in first is the Group 3 driver, and he won this race. So now we are 7 points behind. And again, he's not going to lose ever again, most likely. But I'm praying that he somehow makes a mistake at some point. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Bit of a depressing way to end, but yeah, I'll see you guys in Monza for next week's race.